Hello. Come and join us on this beautiful quest of simplifying spirituality. I am Melissa Romero, and with me is,
Don Finley.
and join us on this beautiful, beautiful quest.
We can make it. It's all good.
And today, come with us as we explore authenticity.
Love that word.
I know, it's such a good one.
What does it mean to you though?
What is authenticity? So, to me, when I think of authenticity, I think about how do we show up as the realist version of ourselves with all of it, with our imperfections, with our perfections, with our grace, with our pains, with our sorrows, with our greatness, with all of it.
All right. What's authenticity?
So when I think of authenticity, I think about being real as fuck. How do I show up with all of me? Everything about me, my greatness, my beauty, my pain, my sadness. How do I show up with that and not be shamed of it, not be shameful of it or shame myself for it? Just showing up and being like, this is me. I am this perfectly imperfect being.
Okay.
And that's what authenticity is. What is it for you?
This is a big question for me
Mhm.
because I'm very much someone who has been shaped by their environment and I can fit into a number of different places. I'm a chameleon when it comes to here's my work life, here's my artistic life, here's my yogic life, here's my spiritual side. And not that any of them are inauthentic in themselves, but they're so different. And like everything that happens in my world is a reflection of the environment that I'm in. And so I think your definition of it's your greatness, it's your scars, it's like it's all of you, all the beauty, all the baggage that comes along with it. Where I think I'm finding myself really looking deeply into that question of what is authentic is that I can be a different person in different environments. And that has led me to go like, all right, what is the business guy who is also the artist? Like, where is that kind of like overflow going? And what's the beauty in that? And then also, are there parts of me that I've been hiding in one or the other? Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I think of that, and for me, I don't feel like I have that issue because what you see is what you get. Who I am in front of you is who I am in a yoga class, who I am when I'm speaking in my goddess circles, or when I'm speaking to a client. Like I speak just like this. But I know that there's a thing called code switching that a
Okay.
lot of Hispanics that are like, from the hood do. So, for instance, like when you're with your hood friends, it's like lingo that you speak with, or when with your family, there's this lingo you speak with. Then when you're in a professional setting, you speak a different way. And so in that sense, there are moments in life when I've I am different or I'll speak different because I have impressed in a professional setting or but it doesn't ever feel super authentic. So I'm always like, how can I get to me immediately? I can
Mhm.
be the second with you. And I need to get me eventually. So when I meet someone and I slowly insert myself.
Okay.
And so because I don't feel comfortable
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
being not. I don't know how to explain it. I don't like not being this.
And so that's the difference,
Mhm.
right? You can do the same thing. I feel it's natural for me to do
Yeah.
that. I can show up in a different way and feel comfortable with it. And so it's not that I get uncomfortable because I show up that way. The question that I'm coming to is like, all right, if that is an authentic version, and then there's another authentic
Mhm.
version, is there any inauthenticity in that? Or one day I play football, another day I play baseball?
I think if you look at it, are your
Yeah.
values still the same?
Yeah.
Are your morals still the same? Are you still loving? Is it just your language that changes? Is it that all of a sudden you just speak more professionally or more eloquently? Or is it that all you speak a little more zen because you're in yoga? But are your values still the same? Are you still at the core of Don? Are you still being Don? And I think that's all that matters. Like switching is real. If I'm in like a suburban yoga setting, my volume might have to go down. And
Hmm.
so I might have to speak differently just because they're not ready for that. And it's not because I want to be different, but I want the message to be heard. And in order for the message to be heard, sometimes we have to go to people's level
I'm
for
gonna
so
meet them where they're at.
meet them where they're at. Exactly. Not go down to a level because they're not beneath us, but meet them where they're at. I love that way of saying
Yeah.
it. it's not inauthentic because at the end of the day, the message is still the same. The morals are still the same. The values are still the same. The Don is still Don. And so I think it is inauthentic. Now, all of a sudden, if you're selling yourself out and becoming this other person and doing things to please others, like for instance, being mean to someone because it would make everybody else laugh, or doing things that you would normally do just to please other people, then that's inauthentic, I think.
And I've definitely fallen into that trap, recovering people
Mhm,
pleaser,
mhm,
right?
mhm.
That's a one of those kind of like hot takes where you go too far into that. That was something that I needed to learn to be comfortable with the chameleon and at the same time recognize, am I putting on the mask for someone else?
Yes.
Because if I'm putting on the mask for someone else, then that's inauthentic. If I'm doing it because, hey, this is the mask that actually like works for this environment and for me to show my values, to share my like the morality that I have and be more of myself, then hell yeah. It's, you can go to the costume party, which that is what we're in,
All
is
the
just
time.
one great
All
costume
day, every
party.
day.
So figure out like how you want to show up. I love
Mhm,
that. Yeah.
mhm. And so we both agree that it's important to show up and know where our values on our sleeve. Like,
Yeah.
okay, this is me no matter where I go. And this, like, when people meet me, they know what my values are. There is no mistake or there's communication in that sense of my values. You know that I value the honesty, or people know that off the bat. Same with
Yep.
you. Like people meet you, they know what you value. And so you put that forth. And so that comes with your authenticity. So authenticity is super, super important, right? Why would you say it's like important? Like why is it so important that we show up and display our values and wear our values on our sleeve when we meet people?
I drop it into a law of authenticity.
Mm.
And
Sounds like a book.
maybe it's coming out
Maybe.
next year. Maybe that's where this goes. Who
That's definitely
knows?
where this
We'll
goes.
see where it happens. But like we talk about like the laws of nature, right? There's certain things that come about. The law of attraction, the law of allowing, the law of cause and effect. And there's all these different kind of laws that exist in nature to bridge the gap between us and our spiritual self, right? And I do believe that there's a law of authenticity. And it's if you know who you are and you're true to who you are, the universe opens up in that. What this brings me back to is almost the mirror principle of if you're true in your core, that's how the universe shows up for you. But if like you're inauthentic to yourself, then that's how the world is going to show up for you as well.
You're so woo woo. I'm
Oh,
gonna take it
beautiful.
down to earth. I think authenticity is important because I when we show up as our true selves, right? As and we wear our what's the word? Our what is it? I've been
Hearts on
talking
our
this.
sleeves,
I
values,
our
morals.
values, our morals, that good stuff on our sleeves. I feel like that creates a space for everyone that comes in our space to feel invited to
Yeah.
be more authentic. If they see that it's, and I notice this a lot with my circles, my women's circles. When I'm vulnerable, it allows for other people to be vulnerable. When I'm authentic and real and I'm just like, this is who I am, it invites other people. And people are like, holy shit, wow, she's
Yeah.
real as fuck. Hold up. Oh, so I can be myself here? This isn't a space where I have to be someone else. And so, what I love and why authenticity is so important is because it creates space for everyone to be authentic. Because
Exactly.
when they see you doing it, and just like you said, the universe reflects that, right? But people also, so the universe reflects that through people. And so people also reflect that back to you. They're like, oh, she's real. And not only that, people trust you more. Oh, Melissa doesn't give a fuck. She's a person that will be honest with me. She's not a person that's going to sugarcoat shit for me. She's not a person that's going to lie to me about what's going on. She's a person that's going to be honest because she's authentic. So I think that's why it's important. It's so we can create those spaces where everyone is welcome to be their authentic self
Yes.
and not afraid that they're going to be judged, not be afraid that uh, they're going to be crucified, whatever it is. It's, oh, I can be me. And that's when I was on a dating app for 2.5 seconds. And when I was, the question like, what do you want in a man? And I was like, to be real as fuck. That was my only I just need someone that's real. I don't want you to just sell me a fucking dream. I
Yeah.
don't want you to tell me what you think I want to hear. And it's the same in life. I don't want friends that just tell me what the fuck I want to hear. I don't want friends that sell me dreams. I want people that tell me how it really is because then I could trust you and I feel safe with you. As much as it sounds crazy, because sometimes when people tell you the truth, you don't like it, but I like that. I love that, because I feel safe in spaces like that.
Exactly. And I think that's a really important aspect of life is for people to be essentially real.
Mm.
The question is, where do you feel authentic? Like, how does that feeling come about?
Ooh, that's a good question. Where do you feel like in my body, physical? Or
Yeah.
like where?
I take it however you want.
Okay. To me, a lot of my big emotions, a lot of my big things, I always feel in my heart. No, no, no. It's not just the heart. I feel like authenticity is like a full body. Like
Okay.
when you show up as you, it feels so good.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
when you don't give it's not like I am seeking your approval or your validation. I am just being me today. That is a good feeling. That is a full body high. When you show up, you own a room, you whatever it is you're walking into. That's a great feeling because you don't feel small. You accept you. So what happens is you go out there in the world and the world accepts you. It's the crew that don't accept you. You don't go out
Exactly.
because you're good. So when you ask, where do I feel authenticity? When I'm truly authentic and standing in my power, it's everywhere.
Nice.
Yeah. Where do you feel it?
There's a spot that I watch.
Okay.
And so this is basically like the recovering people pleaser type of
Uh-huh.
perspective of I watch my stomach. Okay.
Mm.
Because if my stomach remains open and like right around the solar plexus, right? If I'm just sitting here feeling this as being open and relaxed, then I know that I'm being true to myself. If I start to get into conversations and it closes, one of the first things, that's where I notice that I'm off the track. And
Makes
that's
sense.
something that like be switching the mask and like playing, you gotta have that what's the canary to know what's going on.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. And the canary is in mines. People used to take the canary
Oh
in
yeah,
the
yeah.
mines to tell them when there was something was happened because the canary can beforehand or something like that.
So
That's the story.
the canary
Because people
would
might be like, "What the fuck is the canary?"
so it's a canary in a coal mine, right? So they bring the canary down and basically coal mines can fill up with toxic gases. And the first thing to die would be the canary.
That's
That's
what
what
it
it
is.
yeah.
Yeah,
So if
yeah.
the canary stops chirping, you're fucked and you gotta start going.
Yeah.
Right. So are you on the right track or you're
Yeah, just like we just veered off.
yeah,
But
exactly.
you guys
Nice little
needed to know
tangent.
about the canary. But so that makes so much sense because the solar plexus are our worthiness chakra. And so when you're shut down is because something somewhere somehow is making you feel unworthy. And oh, I gotta change or I gotta perform or I gotta so it's which
Yeah.
makes so much sense. Wow, I love that.
Mm,
That's so amazing. All right. Now we
okay.
know what it is. Now, how can we simplify authenticity?
Oh, such a good question, right?
That's what this podcast is all about.
Yeah. Oh man, we totally set ourselves up on that one. All right. So before we go into simplifying it,
Okay.
we can simplify the definition.
Mhm.
And I think from that standpoint, we've come to agreement that it's being true to your morals, your values,
Mhm.
and who you are,
Mhm.
right? Then there's the how do you stay authentic
Mhm.
kind of question. And like, how do you simplify that? And I like bringing it back to the embodied practice.
Mm.
And so being able to stay in that zone of being open, being available. And then when I close up, recognizing like, is that the choice that I want to make? Is that the authentic reaction to this? Or do I want to move through this in an open way? Because sometimes there can be challenges that cause you to initially back up, but then choosing to walk through it. Right. So from a simplified standpoint, I'm looking at it from a definition. There's the morals and values, right? And being you in all its glory. And on the exercise or practice of it, it's an embodied practice and it's yourself and how you are experiencing the present moment.
And feeling
Feeling.
your body tells you so much. I love that. I would say is knowing what your morals and values are. I feel
Mm,
like a lot of people don't know that. I would suggest if this was a client of mine and they were
yeah,
asking
yeah.
me, okay, Melissa, how can I show up as my most authentic self? I would actually have them create a mission statement. So what is your mission? Who do you want to show up as every time you show up? And then once they create that, asking themselves when they're showing up, am I showing up as this? Am I showing up as my most authentic self? Am I fulfilling my mission statement today? Or when they catch themselves, maybe if they feel their body, if they feel their solar plexus or their heart or their full body, and it doesn't feel right, then asking themselves, am I fulfilling my mission statement right now?
Yeah.
If not, and I feel like that's the most simple way. Know your morals, know your values, and fulfill them as much as possible. And also, don't forget people like it's not spirituality isn't here to shame you. So let's say you find yourself not fulfilling your mission statement in some kind of whatever encounter. That's okay. You always have right then, right the minute you just realize that you
Exactly.
didn't fulfill your mission statement, you could be like, oh, okay, right now I can start fulfilling it now.
And that's what it is. It's a recognition,
Mm-hmm.
right? We're all human. We all make
Yeah.
mistakes. We may also just try something,
Mm-hmm.
right? Look at it as an experiment. And this was an experiment that wasn't authentic.
Exactly.
So let's come back to it.
Thanks.
I like that. The mission
Yes.
statement is a good one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the other thing that I did over winter break,
What?
I wrote my obituary. Yeah.
Oh.
And it's similar to a mission statement, right? But it's
Mhm.
like, all right, if I'm going to look back and see who was, right? Who did he be?
Love that.
And what is the
Mhm.
world that you want to leave?
Exactly.
And at the same time, it very much rings true to values and to your,
Mhm.
because you got to say, did I live this life the way that I set out to?
I love that. There is a book. This is why I did it. I did a course, and it's a year-long course, and you could do it. I forgot the name of the center. They're based out of California, and it's a virtual course. It's called A Year to Live.
Mm,
And so you live a year as if it's your last year. So you have to create an obituary. You have to make funeral arrangements. You have to create a will. You have to do the whole nine. You do a life review process. So, but the book is out there. Anybody can do the book. But let's get back to this. I love that. And also understanding that mission statements do evolve,
yes.
right? And so if your mission statement is X, Y, and Z, maybe in a few months, a year, it might evolve to something better. And you might be like, oh, wait, I've been completing my mission statement. I've been showing up authentically. But I think now authenticity is a little more elevated. It's this now, you know? And we're constantly evolving. I look at my life like a year, 2 years ago, and completely different person. And so we're constantly evolving. I don't feel like my values change as much. I think my values are the same, but sometimes they get upgraded a little bit. It's not like that they change, but they upgrade. Like,
It's a
okay,
good way to describe it.
honesty 2.0 now. I'm honesty 3.5 right now. You know what I mean? And so like I upgrade because I'm like, okay, I believed in honesty and honesty was big for me, but I was being dishonest here and here. And I didn't realize it because they were little baby dishonesties. They weren't so big. But now I'm realizing that I want to be so honest that I'm not dishonest in those spaces or vice versa. You know what? It is okay to have creative license. It is okay to be a little dishonest or to expand a story a little more to make it. So maybe I was being too hard on myself with my honesty. You know what? In these spaces, I'm going to allow creative license or I'm going to allow a little dishonesty. I'm going to allow myself to do X, Y, and Z. So what I'm saying is that our mission statement might evolve. It might change and your values might change. The point is to know what they are and to truly know what your values are. I think best way is to really sit down with it.
So one thing that I want to piggyback off of
Mhm.
what you're saying as far as upgrading
Mhm.
your values or upgrading, it's a constant case of we're improving upon who we are.
Mhm.
And it's almost like there's always another layer of the onion.
Mhm.
And so sometimes you find out that, hey, I'm being dishonest. And I like this example, right? Because it's very true. I think there's a lot of people who would like to be honest people or call themselves honest people.
Mhm.
But you got to start looking at like, all right, maybe the first time it was, I'm going to be honest to everybody. Okay. And then it's going to be, well, now you find out that you're being dishonest to yourself in certain areas. And it's always those little lies that we tell ourselves, sometimes the trickier ones, or that really deep seated belief that we've had since we were 3 years old. We don't know how we got it, but it's still there. And like those ones, when you make those switches, you may have thought that you were honest before. Now it's a different level of honesty with yourself when you can recognize those are like inner child sort of things or the older belief patterns that have played out within all of your relationships.
I 150% agree. When I think about spirituality, and I talk to my clients about my mic to show you. So I always think my finger from this space, I say, this is my view, right?
Yeah.
And then the higher I get, I can more. That's what spirituality is. And the more we can see, the more we can upgrade our values. The more we can see, the more we see those places where we're not being honest with ourselves. We believe our own honest with ourselves. But here's the key quote I shared this week. Our past is just practice. We look at our past, we realize, oh, I wasn't being 100% honest. That was just practice. Today's the real game. And we get that opportunity over and over. And this is why I'm big on people not shaming themselves, because I always tell my clients, yeah, you didn't show up. Cool. You don't have to shame yourself for this. You're human.
Exactly.
You're human. And now is the real game. Are you showing up now? Okay. There you go. That's all that matters. And so the funny thing is, and I'm going to veer off, is that we take old programming into spirituality. And I see this a lot. In our old programming, we would shame ourselves, especially if you're Catholic. No offense. But if you're Catholic, you're taught everything is shameful, right? Original sin, like we were born with, like, born
Exactly.
fucked up. So then you move into spirituality, and all of a sudden you figure out ways to shame yourself in spirituality, like manifestation, which we'll talk about another time. Fuck, I didn't manifest it because I'm such a fucking idiot. I was thinking about the wrong thing and my vibration wasn't right. And really, like,
So many. Yeah.
we learn, we constantly like bring our old programming into this new stuff. And spirituality isn't about shaming yourself. It's about, I'm perfectly imperfect. And so I see it. And so you said earlier, awareness. That's all. If I could put spirituality in one word, awareness.
Yeah.
Awareness. That's all it is. And we're constantly in this space of looking at ourselves, introspection, like looking at the world, being aware. Why is this bothering me? Oh, crap. And just going into not beating ourselves up over it.
Yes.
No, don't do that. If you didn't show up as your authentic self in one situation, okay, be aware of that. See it. Why didn't I show up? What was I trying to do? Was I trying to people please? Was I trying to seek validation? Was I trying to impress somebody? What was I doing? Why? And what part of me was triggered in that space that caused me to be that? What program was I trying to play into? And so this is what spirituality and growth is all about. It's just being aware of those moments.
I like it.
Hmm. I like this. I like
That's
this.
solid.
And
Yeah.
I think we're good. I think we simplified it for you.
I was like, I'm the one sitting across from you. Who's you guys?
No,
The
you guys.
audience
You
is
guys.
you guys. I was like, wait, what? Who? What's
Vincent.
happening? Yeah, he's authentic.
Vincenzo, you're good?
Yeah. You want some water? I gotta say, what a great episode.
I think this was good.
Yeah. All right, so let's go. We've defined it.
We've defined it.
We talked about
We
practice,
talked about practices.
and we simplified it.
That's it.
All right,
That's it.
we hit it. Yeah,
All right, we're good.
I love it. Well done.
We're golden.
Yeah, another one in the bag. Oh,
Thank you for tuning in. You're amazing. Thank you.
much love. Peace.
All right, that was good.